Hello, everyone. Welcome to Brick by Brick, Building Homeownership with Suzi Beaver. Today, we are joined with Jacqui Spain from Real Broker. Today, we're going to be touching base about Jacqui, who she is, why she does what she does, and her take on the real estate market and the real estate world in general. We want to highlight our realtor partners and our team members that make a difference in the lives of the people that they serve. And Jacqui's just one of those special women. She brings a wealth of information, and you're going to have a fantastic opportunity and an experience in purchasing a home or selling a home for that matter when you do work with Jacqui. So Jacqui, tell me a little bit about yourself. Where do you hail from?
So I'm Jacqui Spain. I live in Denver, North Carolina, so Lake Norman area. I was originally born in Charleston, South Carolina, and then my dad was in the Navy, and we ended up pretty much growing up in Jersey, so South Jersey. So that's where I grew up.
That was a whole different world up there. My middle daughter lives in New York, so my husband and I ventured up through that area, and wow.
Yeah, it's different. I mean, I loved it. I was right outside like of Philly, so like I'm a big Phillies fan, so it was fun.
Okay, very, very cool. Very, very cool. So how did you end up down here in North Carolina?
So I met my husband, Austin. I bartended while I was in school for like occupational therapy. And then I went to school in Roanoke, Virginia. And then I moved back to Jersey and was bartending at Fridays. And he was a bouncer at one of the bars we would go to. And he was an underwater welder, like diver. Wow. So that's what we would do. We would go out afterwards, and that's how I met him there. And then he's from the Lake Norman area. Okay. So he went to high school there. He was like he was a big swimmer. Okay. He went to East Lincoln High School. He's on the wall there. So if you ever go, but the lake, my dad lives on the lake. My in-laws live on the lake. So we have the boat, the jet skis, the pools, the water. It's fun. And again, I wanted my kids to grow up around the grandparents and the water life. Like, I'm like, if I had this when I was younger, this would be amazing. It's a lot of fun. It's like a vacation.
Absolutely. Absolutely. No, I mean, those are some of my most treasured times. I grew up at the beach in California, so we were at the beach every single weekend. And yeah. And so what are some other things that you can do in and around your area?
Well, my boys are big into sports. They play football, baseball, basketball, all that kind of stuff. I mean, there's like Mooresville's close by, Huntersville, Davidson, all that. Charlotte's right nearby, so we can go to the Panthers games or the Charlotte Knights games. It's growing, so there's lots of traffic. That's one. I made a video on my YouTube channel about the pros and cons, and one of the downfalls will be the traffic, but hopefully they're going to fix that eventually. But yeah, Denver's more like the small town feel, but it's growing. Once we got married in 2015, we realized that life is just better here. I do miss the people and the food, and there's of course stuff I miss there, but it's just so pretty here. It's a slower way of living. I don't know. I just love it here.
Yeah.
Every day. I mean, the skies are beautiful. The lake is awesome. And we didn't have grandparents growing up that lived close to us, so it was a big thing for us. So now, like, it's nice to see the kids know, like, about their family.
Absolutely. My mom's mom lived with me. She was like my second mother from the time I was 3 until I was 17. So she pretty much did the raising of me and my younger brother. Yeah. So it was something very unique and very special that I don't know. I love that experience with her.
See, that's what I want them to have. Yeah. And like I have 3 boys, so they're 8, 5, and 3. So we're always at sports, and all the grandparents are always at the games, and you have like a big cheering section. It's good for them
just to know that they're loved, they have that support, and just to know that their family is just right there. That changes things for their kids. It's different now. I'm a lolly. My husband is pop, so we're lollipop together. There's something to be said about loving your kids, but love your grandbabies. It's totally different. I still haven't been able to put my finger on it, but oh man,
you appreciate it more because you see how fast they grow. Every day I look at my boys and I get all sad.
Yes, actually, I loved being a mom. That was one of my life's greatest joys, was to be a mom, and just the kind of mom that I could have been. And we went through some really rocky times, and that mom got lost, but that mom is back, and
that's awesome.
To know that the grandma that I can be for my grandkids, it's just an amazing gift. God is just so amazingly good that way.
Yeah.
So just to kind of go through things here. So you were saying earlier that you went to college as an occupational therapist. What?
Yeah, so I'm an occupational therapist assistant. So I've done that for 15 years. I was originally in nursing school, and then I was in it like my third year, and I would like call my mom crying, like, I don't know if I like this. I just felt like everybody was miserable, and that's not my personality. My roommate at the time, she was a occupational therapist assistant, and I was like, what is that? And I figured out what it was. And so I went to occupational therapy, and like, I loved it. It was like crafts, like all that, like,
Oh, that's
so it's
awesome.
more like independent living. So where physical therapy is more like, lower body walking, that kind of stuff. We do more like bathing, dressing, and activities, different like daily activities of living and stuff. But so I did that for a while, and it's challenging because I worked in the geriatric population, so you have to get people to want to work with you. And
Yes.
a lot of them are set in their ways and really don't want to exercise or do this or that. But I always found a way to get them to work. I always like got to know my patients very well and got
Absolutely.
to work with them, and I loved it. So, but I feel like after COVID, things changed, and we moved back to North Carolina, and then having 3 kids, and it was just a lot. And I've always wanted to do real estate, but I was afraid because I feel like I wasn't confident because, you see realtors and they're all like done up and like all this. So I just never thought that would be me. But my husband was like, you need to do it. You need to do it. And I'm like, okay. So I went to school. I was working full time at night with the kids, and my husband was working nights. So it was kind of,
Wow.
the kids would be jumping behind me, and I'd be doing school and all that. Well, I only had 2 kids at the time. I was pregnant with my third. And so I did the school. No one knew I was doing it but my husband. And so the day I finished the class and I passed the class test, and then I had my exam, we had a nanny at the time, and she didn't show up that day, and I was freaking out.
Oh.
So I called my in-laws, thank God for grandparents.
Yes.
They took the kids, and I had to drive into Charlotte, and I passed the test the first time. I'll never forget, somebody told me, I'm not going to say who, but I'm not a good test taker. I probably won't do well with nursing and passing the test. So I always had that in the back of my head. And I passed the test on the first time for this. And in North Carolina,
Yes.
it's one of the hardest ones. So maybe this is what I'm meant to be. So then I had my son in July, and then I didn't start working until September.
Okay.
And here we are, September, so 3 years now. And September seems to be like my month of things. So, yeah, so I did it. And I didn't think I would. And it was hard, I was afraid because, we have 3 kids and I'm a foster mom. So, stopping that reliable income
Yes.
was scary. And of course, my husband is always like, you can do it. If you're going to do it, just do it. He's a straightforward guy, but he pushes me to do, and he is my like pusher. Yeah. So I did it, and I've been full force going hardcore. So
What a blessing to be married to a man that actually sees you for your full potential when you don't even
yeah.
see your full potential.
I know.
Support system is absolutely invaluable. I actually have that now in my life. You talk about, how we were knit together in our mother's womb, and God put that purpose in us at that point in time. And sometimes we don't even get the opportunity to realize what that purpose is unless we have someone else behind us pushing us and seeing something in us that sometimes we don't see for ourselves.
I gotta watch what I say, because like even when we first started dating, it was like, oh, I really wish I could have like a Keurig or something for coffee. The next day, there it is on my front porch. I'm like, oh gosh. So I gotta watch what I say around him because he'll hold me accountable. That's for sure.
Yes. No, my husband's like that as well too. Or if I have a negative mindset or a negative experience or something like that, he'll speak over me. That's not who you are, and that we're not going to speak that about ourselves and so forth. So I mean, your mindset is huge when it comes to helping others and being out in something that it's scary out there. You know what I mean? Just to
Yes, this type of job, real estate, like you're on your own, right? So you really have to work hard. You have to discipline and your mindset. I never knew much about my mindset until I really started doing real estate, because people can say negative stuff to you constantly. Like when I first started real estate, people are like, oh, you're never going to do it. And I'm like, okay, well, thanks. And then even just like the consistency and the posting on social media and reaching out to people, like I know I just want to help people and I care about people and I enjoy what I do. So I feel like I got to show up for them. Like I have 5 listings right now. And the other day, sometimes I try and tell myself, don't work on Sunday. But I was like, someone just made me post. And a realtor reached out to me and she was like, I had been searching the MLS and searching, and I did not see your listing. Can you tell me more about it? And she's like, thank you for being consistent on posting, because I would have never saw this.
So you had mentioned before in conversation that your mom was a realtor when you were younger. What was that like?
Yeah, so she was always a stay-at-home mom, and then she went to be a realtor, and she was like, I'm not too sure about this. She didn't really want to do residential and stuff. Then she met Mike Giletti, who was a big commercial realtor in South Jersey, and she ended up being his assistant. I would go into the office, I would do paperwork, like, like file, like nothing serious, but helping out. And I just loved it. She always dressed up, wore the heels, she still does to this day. But Mike Giletti was a really good guy. He's recently passed away, but he was always an inspiration for me too, like how he worked. And I just feel like he was a really good person. That's what started my real estate kind of wanting to do that. And in the stories, you could tell, like when I went to Home Health too, like just hearing the stories, especially when they lived there their whole lives, and like the memories, and it's neat.
We were talking last week and you were sharing with me about a client, how this was her parents' home.
Yes.
And so share a little bit more about that with me.
She grew up there. So they were the original owners, and she grew up there and everything. And her parents passed away, and she redid the entire house because she wanted to do it for her parents, like give them the, they raised them there, and like they top to bottom, like plumbing, roof, HVAC, all new appliances. It's so pretty. So if I can go to like a new family that can live there and love it, and it's a rural area, it's pretty out there. There's a farm across the way. She used to work on the farm. So many stories like that.
Absolutely. And I mean, that just takes it to a whole new level, because it's not just a home that you're selling new memories to another family, honoring their parents and their childhood and family home.
It is cool. And I just love like a lot of my clients that take pride in their home, and like like really take care of it, and you could just tell.
Well, I'm glad that you're not just superficial level, that you actually dig deeper, and to create more of an experience, not only for your sellers, but for your buyers as well, or for the agents that are going to be bringing buyers to the home that you're listing. It's an experience that you're providing for them. So let's talk a little bit more about finding your place and your mentorship within the real estate world, what that looks like for you.
I'm always trying to take classes and learning and all that kind of stuff. And Brock Zivan is his name. He's a realtor with Real. And he was hosting a class, and I went to it. He has a mindset show every morning at 8:15. I started it, and then I started setting my alarm every day for it. So like literally for 2 years, I've been going on at 8:15 every morning, Monday through Friday, listening to him. And then I started asking more questions, and I just always want to learn. And literally every time I talk to him, I learn something. And so I started off with a coaching program with him. And then I went to Key West to a summit, which was the first time I've ever done that. So kind of stepping out of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
And now I'm doing elite coaching program with him. So in November, we're going to be like diving deep into our 2026 plans and goals. And he's been a huge influence in my life, and it's nice. And all the people that are with him, like Rebecca Black, she's a confidence coach, Derek, Chad Free, Christian. I've learned so much.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's amazing. And every day I'm learning new things and growing and connecting with different realtors in different states.
Knowledge is power, and there's always something new that you can learn that would benefit not only yourself, but those that you interact with.
And my kids. Every day I'm trying to build them up, and so.
Absolutely. Even with adult children, it's now you're still, helping them to grow in ways that you're growing, and that you're changing, and that you're learning. And it just amazes me what we don't know. I mean, that's really the whole premise of even this podcast, is to educate people, because most people don't even know the first step of what they need to do to even purchase a home. And so it's putting this knowledge out there in a stress-free environment where people can learn, maybe trigger a question, or give them something to say, hey, that actually does apply to me, or hey, that's what's happening with me right now. Oh, this can happen for me. We want to show people that everyone has the right to own a home. We're just helping you to get there, because everybody's different. Every situation is different.
Exactly.
And the more you learn, the more impactful you're going to be in other people's lives. And that's huge.
Yep.
But it's also something that you can see is impactful for your children. And what you choose to do today, they're watching you.
That's my biggest thing, is I can tell they are. Like they see me growing, I think, too, and changing and getting better. It is nice. It is nice. And
It is.
That's like my whole goal, is to build like generational wealth for my family. And I feel like, we were talking about this yesterday on a financial call, but you build up that 401k and stuff for when you're older, help your kids. But I'd rather help my kids like starting off in life. Like,
Yes.
you know what I mean? Like giving them a house, giving them stuff that, because those are the rough times. Like, and again, those are plans. Like people today that don't have a home, like I'm like, if you talk to me, we can get a plan together.
Yes.
Doesn't mean you're never, like people tell them they'll never do this. Don't ever let anyone tell you that because you don't really know.
No.
Owning a home and being in the real estate, it's what you need to do because that's the way to grow wealth.
I laugh because my son has worked for me throughout the years. So he was knowledgeable about things like this. Then he went to his first year of college and he would come back, Mom, these kids know nothing. And I'm like, what kids? And then he's like, the kids I'm going to college with, none of them even have a checking account. They don't have a savings account. They don't even know how to open one. They don't know anything about credit cards and how to manage those. They don't know any of this stuff. So here my son is a freshman in college. It was unbelievable to me, but it opened up my eyes to say, wow, there's a much larger problem here than I think there is. And the reality is we only know what our parents know, and we only know what our parents taught them. This is a place where we can change people's lives, and it starts with our own families as well. So
my 5 and 8-year-old the other day both said separately, Mom, I really need to learn how to make money. And I was like, okay. And I actually met with a manager of a bank the other day, and I was like, so how old do they have to be to get an account? Like, so I'm actually meeting with them on Thursday, but I'm going to start talking with them about like different ideas to do with them. Because if they're interested in it, that's what I want them to be, to have their own businesses, start their own thing. Because now that I'm in my own business, and I just never want to have to work for somebody again. I don't. And you have to be disciplined. You have to be this. I love it. It is nice.
So share with me a little bit about your real estate philosophy.
Well, we kind of talked about the other day because I have a client that I referred to you. Yes. And I'm a believer in getting pre-approved. Unless you're doing cash, it's a little bit different. That's where Suzi comes in because I don't know all of that. But there's different ways and different things you can do things with. Like our one client wants to get a house, but she wants to use an FHA loan again, which would be her second time, but there's qualifications behind that. And you have to have different things. Like she has to have a bigger house than what she has. She has to show growth, all this stuff.
Yes.
So if we would have went and started looking at places before that happened, it would have not been the criteria that she needed. Yes. So my biggest thing is getting pre-approved, knowing your monthly payments that you can afford and that you're comfortable with. Just because you can afford a $500,000 house doesn't mean that that's what you need. Yes. So I want you to be comfortable with your payments and not just being house poor. And also, we don't want to go tour homes that are these beautiful homes and then you can't afford it. Just because you can't afford that $500 million home right now, you need to get in real estate. So getting a smaller home, getting something you can afford, whether it be if it's a condo, a townhouse, a 1,000 square foot home, being in the real estate game is better than not. Like, so building your equity, building, all that will help you grow. It's like a stepping stone. And that's where I feel like we have a lot of, it's called the sandwich generation right now, the multi-generational families, because kids think that they need to live in this $1 million home when realistically you can buy something that's more affordable and then work your way up versus just staying at your mom and dad's house and living with your grandparents. There's nothing wrong with that either. But if you're looking to get your own home, you don't have to have that huge house at first.
Stepping stone.
And then 2 years, you build your equity, you sell, you buy the next one, go on and go on. So it's a whole process. And again,
it is
having a plan in place, which is what we could help you do. If you don't have a plan, you're never going to get anywhere.
All good things happen with a good plan.
Yep.
So,
and sometimes these plans in real estate are uncomfortable.
Yes.
But to grow, you have to be uncomfortable.
100%. I mean, that's what we talk about is like, when you start with the pre-approval process, everything is exposed. I mean, it is overwhelming. And, sometimes people are unaware, like even what's on their credit. It could be, medical debt, or it could be, just different things or things that they had even from, a lot of times people will say, oh, well, that should be off. It's been on there for 7 years. Well, no, if it's never been paid, it's never going to go off. If you've never settled this account or taken care of this account, it's never going to fall off your credit. And, just to educate people and to show people those things, they may not be able to buy today.
Right.
But we're going to come up with a plan that they can buy 3 months, 6 months, a year sometimes. Mm-hmm. My longest has been 2 years, but she was able to purchase a home.
Right.
Most lenders just say, go fix your credit. Well, if they don't even know why their credit's the way that it is, how are they supposed to fix something that they don't understand how to fix, for one, or they don't really understand that it's broken, for two? And that's what we want to do, is we literally will deep dive with somebody and actually help them to understand, this is what's wrong. This is the problem. This is what we have to fix. That's what we try to do here, is just to equip people with success. This is the game plan. We're not expecting you to fix this by yourself. We're going to walk with you hand in hand, hold you accountable.
A lot of people will reach out about buying and then like, oh, well, we're going to wait a little bit until rates drop or whatever. Okay, but you really need to start the process now, because if you're waiting for rates to drop, what if they drop? Then you go to get pre-approved and you can't, because you have all these things you need to fix and then you're not ready. So
Absolutely.
that's why I always try and like educate people on getting a plan together, even if you're not ready right this minute, to really do the background work and make sure you're ready when you're ready. So
Absolutely. You never know when you're going to be ready, but it makes no sense to go say, oh, I'm ready now, and find out you're really not.
Right. Yeah, it's a lot of that stuff that like, I don't want to see it, I don't want to know about it kind of stuff. Like, I'm the same way.
Well,
But once you do it, it's totally worth it.
Jacqui, it was such a pleasure for you to be on here with us. I'm looking forward to you being on again, so that then we can talk more about your separate business, Smooth Sailing for Seniors. I know that you're a senior real estate specialist, and being that you've worked in the occupational therapy, you have a heart for seniors, and that's evident there. Is there anything at this point that you'd like to just highlight about Smooth Sailing for Seniors?
Me and Kelly Martin are the owners, and we just will come in and no pressure, meet you, see what your plans are, to see what work needs to be done in the house, if it's decluttering, if it's painting, anything to make your house sell for the most money that you can make. So a lot of times we've lived in homes for years and there's lots of work to be done. And we all know everyone has a busy lifestyle. So
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, I'm glad that you guys see that niche in there to be able to help seniors move on to their next stage of life, whatever that may be. And sometimes families aren't there to be able to support, or they've got busy lives, or they live out of the area. So this is huge for them to be able to know that they have a place that they can talk with you and you can help them on their way. That's wonderful. I'm looking forward to diving deeper into that in the next time that we meet. One thing that I always love to do is to bring scripture into what we're talking about. And one thing that I just love about you is your faith, the way that you love people, and the way that you actually are so genuine in how you orchestrate things for your family, how you're caring for your family, and that it just extends to the people that you share. So when I think of Jacqui, Proverbs 31:28 comes to mind. Her children arise and call her blessed, her husband also, and he praises her. Many women do noble things, but you surpass them all. I just am excited about everything that you can teach me, that I can teach you, and that we can serve others to the best of our capacity. So thank you for being that inspiration.
yeah, thank you. I'm so glad we met, and I've already learned so much from you.
Everyone, thank you again for joining us today on Brick by Brick, Building Homeownership. Be sure to like, subscribe, and to share. And be sure to look up Jacqui's contact information below. We're going to put everything out there in the podcast comments. You'll be able to find her if you're in need of selling, listing a home. Be sure to reach out. We look forward to seeing you next time. Bye.